Welcome to CCN Midday News. I am your host, Captivating Christian, and here are some of your top stories for today, April 17th. Trump's guidelines may have some states reopening in a month. Maryland governor says now is the worst possible time to lift coronavirus restrictions. And Trump roll back worker safety rules. Michael Cohen will be released from prison due to the pandemic. Lindsey Graham keeps breaking fundraising records. His Democratic challenger is still outraised him. And students call for Obama to deliver a virtual address to America's class of 2020. Let's get to the news. President Donald Trump unveiled guidelines to reopen the U.S. economy that could allow states and employers to abandon within 4 weeks most social distancing practices to curb the coronavirus outbreak. Trump has been eager to return Americans to work and school, even as the outbreak crests in the U.S., with more than 650,000 cases and more than 31,000 deaths. He briefed governors Thursday on the guidelines that his administration entitled Opening Up America Again. He said, and I quote, "We can begin the next front of our war." Trump told reporters at the White House, "We're reopening up our country. We have to do that." Trump said some states could start reopening process literally tomorrow, but declined which ones. He said later that 29 states are in that ball game, not the reopening, but ready to open relatively soon. Governor Larry Hogan said on Thursday of this week that it would be the worst possible time to lift the coronavirus sanctions. We in the Washington-Baltimore corridor were still heading up that curve, and it would really be the worst possible time to put our people out there and endanger them, Hogan said on the Today Show. Hogan's comments come as the White House and state leaders begin talking about reopening the economy and scaling back the social distancing guidelines. The governor said that while he is already working on a plan to reopen his state, more issues need to be addressed before that can happen. What we're all going to need before we can get people back to work is more testing, more availability to do contract tracing. We're going to need to make sure we have the hospital capacities and capabilities and all personal protective equipment, Hogan said on Thursday. Maryland has reported 10,784 cases and 349 deaths as of Thursday afternoon, and has added more than 500 new cases to their count every day. For over a week, Hogan has been ramping up restrictions this week, adding guidelines that require residents to wear masks at grocery stores and in public transportation. Hogan also said on Sunday that the state is a ways away from lifting their guidelines. When President Donald Trump came into office pledging to cut regulations massively, he made an exemption regulation to protected workers' health. But almost 2 years in, the Trump administration has done the opposite, rolling back workers' safety protection, affecting underground mining safety inspections, offshore drilling rigs, and line speeds in meat processing plants, among others. Trump's deregulatory move on worker safety are at odds with his public stance as a champion of the working class American, but consistent with his naming two management side attorneys benched on rolling back economic protections for workers to the National Labor Relations Board, which regulates labor unions, and with his nomination of two reliable pro-management jurists to now Republican majority Supreme Court that recently dealt a heavy financial blow to the public Employees Union. One of those Supreme Court nominees, Brett Kavanaugh, will be on Tuesday beginning a Senate confirmation hearing where the Judiciary Committee Democrats will certainly quiz him about his dissension opinion in which he denied an undocumented worker had a right to bargain collectively and that the San Diego SeaWorld bore responsibility for a deadly attack on one of its employees by a killer whale. The Federal Bureau of Prisons has notified Michael Cohen, that President Donald Trump's former personal attorney, that he will be released early from prison due to the coronavirus pandemic, according to people familiar with the matter and his lawyer. Cohen is serving a 3-year sentence at the federal prison camp in Otisville, New York, where 14 inmates and 7 staff members at the complex have tested positive for the virus. Cohen was scheduled to be released in November of 2021, but he will be allowed to serve the remainder of his sentence from home confinement. The People said that he will have to undergo a 14-day quarantine at the prison camp before he is released. Cohen was notified on Thursday of his pending release, and his lawyer confirmed it with CNN. Lindsey Graham re-election is looking less and less like a given. Graham shows some serious fundraising strength at the end of 2019, raising a single quarter South Carolina record of $3.9 million. He beat that record again in the first quarter of 2020. But then his Democratic challenger, Jamie Harrison, raised even more. Fundraising records released on Wednesday night show that Graham raised a total of $5.6 million in the first 3 months of 2020, and Harrison, the former chair of the South Carolina's Democratic Party and associate chair of the Democratic National Convention, brought in $7.36 million. That leaves Harrison with $8 million in the bank to continue his challenge against Lindsey Graham, and puts Graham's war chest at $12.8 million. A high school senior, in hoping for a unique commencement address for the class of 2020 in the age of coronavirus, one delivered virtually by former President Barack Obama. Lincoln Benham, age 17, a graduating senior from Eagle Rock High School in Los Angeles, tweeted late Tuesday urging Obama to deliver a national commencement address digitally to replace the school's canceled ceremonies, as much as the nation hunkered down at home. Like most high school and college seniors, I'm saddened by the loss of the milestone event, proms, and graduation, and in an unprecedented time, it would give us great comfort to hear your voice. We ask you to consider giving a national commencement speech for the class of 2020. The young senior said in a tweet, which had nearly 95,000 likes and more than 20,000 retweets as of Wednesday evening. Katie Hill, a spokeswoman for Obama, said that they were aware of the tweet and very flattered, but declined to comment further. Once again, thank you for watching CCN Midday News. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. Also hit that notification button so you will never miss another news update. Have a great day. Peace.